Hi everyone, this is part 5 of my California-Alaska adventure. Currently I am in Valdez, Alaska, and I have just finished my bear hunt, which didn't exactly go as I expected, but it was still a lot of fun. If you are a hunter or into hunting, go ahead and check out that video. It is very informative and educational, not from me, but I was hunting with a hunter who has a wealth of information about bears in general, bear baiting, bear hunting, everything. So I know you will get a lot out of it. But like I said, right now I am still in Valdez, Alaska, and I am going to do some sightseeing, and then I will make my way up north. I will stay at a cabin at Willow Lake for a couple of days, and then I will go up to Fairbanks and spend a couple of nights there. From there, I will drive up to the Arctic Circle, which is only about 4 hours from there. So I'm already here, might as well do that. There's really not much there, I think. It's just a sign you could stand next to and say, hey, I was here. So I want to do that. And then after that, I will make my way towards the Alaskan border, and that will be the end of this video. Maxine and Jesse Whitney Museum in Valdez, Alaska, and I'm going to show you everything here. This is the coolest and most interesting museum I have ever seen, and my friend Pam, who also works here, will give you all the background story on everything you see.
Welcome to the Maxine and Jesse Whitney Museum. This museum is owned by the University of Alaska and is housed in Valdez, Alaska. It was originally a private collection done by Maxine Whitney, and she started collecting when she moved to Alaska in the late 1940s. She worked for a small airline and would travel from her home in Fairbanks out to the small villages and communities, primarily in the north with the Inupiat people and the west with the Yupik people. She collected for about 20 years on her own, and then in the 1960s purchased a gift shop and museum that originally belonged to her friend in North Pole, Alaska. There she continued to collect and share things with people, visitors, guests, locals, but they were all things that she thought were representative of Alaska and special about Alaska. Some things are very unique, some things are common, some things are very old, some things are new, and she actually would have commissioned for her. Maxine would get the items in different ways. Sometimes she would purchase the items from people supporting the local economies of the villages. Sometimes she would trade for them. She had the ability to go shopping in department stores, which were not available to local residents, and she would bring things back for them. And sometimes people would give them to her. She was very likable, and she was somebody that people wanted to share their culture with her. In addition to the things that she collected, there was a taxidermy shop in the back of the gift shop and museum. So some of the items came from there. And then in around 2000, there were some items added to the collection in Valdez from a local taxidermist, Pat Londo. And so those items were added to the collection.
Valdez, Alaska, and I am right now at Willow Lake. This is about an hour and a half north of Valdez, and I am at the cabin of my friends Daryl and Pam, the couple I stayed with, and I will be spending the night tonight, all day tomorrow and tomorrow night, and then the next morning I will leave to Fairbanks. And I am so happy right now. This is so peaceful, so relaxing. I actually have my recliner chair out, a couple of books. I haven't been able to do that this whole trip. That was always just up and going, either seeing things or driving or sleeping. And I can finally just relax. There is no rush. I don't have to be anywhere, anytime. I will get there when I get there, and this is so amazing. This lake is only 10 feet deep, so there are no fish here, and I didn't bring any fishing gear. A lot of people ask me if I was fishing in Alaska, but I didn't want to even think about that because I was coming pretty fast. I spent 1 or 2 days in each state, and I didn't want to get fishing licenses and all these things just for a day or two. That can get really expensive. So I wasn't doing that, but here I don't even feel like I'm missing out on anything because there are no fish here. In the winter, this lake freezes solid, so they wouldn't survive anyways. So I can just relax, have the dogs run around. I have the fire going. I'm going to start dinner soon. It is right now about, I think, 7 or 7:30. Of course, the sun is still up. It's going to be up all night, and I absolutely love it. Last night I've made it to Fairbanks, and I am staying at a RV park for 2 nights, last night and tonight. And from now on I will do my best to avoid any RV campgrounds because they are just too crowded, and the RVs are packed on top of each other, and people have dogs and they walk them, and my dogs will just bark at any dog that comes by or any humans that come too close, and that is annoying to everybody. So no more of that. I am kind of annoyed by all that. Up until now there have only been 2 campgrounds that were RV campsites, and they were actually great. They were either almost empty or you had a lot of space between the campsites. But public land is my favorite. The dogs don't even have to be on a leash, so that's what I will be looking for. So right now we are on our way to the Arctic Circle, and it is 80 degrees outside. It is very interesting. Before, when I thought about the Arctic Circle, I always thought that it would be all snow, and that is not true, because it's 70s, 80s, the sun is up all day long. There is only 1 hour between sunset and sunrise, and obviously the snow would melt. If you are ever to make this trip from Fairbanks to the Arctic Circle, I just want you to know this. It is not even 200 miles, but the phone tells me that it takes about 5 hours, maybe even over 5. And it's because you can't always go with 60, 70 miles per hour. First of all, the speed limit is, I think, 55 most of the time. But you have big hills up and big hills down, so obviously you won't be going at full speed. And there are a lot of uneven pavements where you have loose gravel or the road is just not paved. It's really not so bad. I am about 60 miles away, which is going to be an hour and a half. And I was told by someone that you do need a 4-wheel drive truck to make it there, and I haven't seen anything so far, so we'll see how the rest of the trip will go. So here I am at the Arctic Circle. I have made it. It is about 80 degrees here, and this is really cool. There's basically a sign people can come up to and take pictures. And there's a lady here. This is her job. She walks up to you and she gives you a certificate that certifies that you indeed were here. And she can also take pictures of you, and she was very kind to take pictures of me and my dogs. So this is a bucket list item, check off. Well, I never had a bucket list, but I guess if I'm gonna make one, I will write this on it and scratch it off right away. The Canadian border is coming right up in only a few miles, so this will be the end of my video. And I can honestly say that I love Alaska, even though I have only seen a small part of it. I would love to come back and explore the further regions. I think it's so cool that nature is kind of extreme here, including this whole daylight phenomenon. At the Arctic Circle, there was no sunset and no sunrise, but if I would have gone up further north, all the way to the end of the land, it would have been even more extreme. Over there, basically somewhere in the spring, the sun rises and doesn't go down for 60 days. That is just so strange. And then, I don't know what happens then, but I know somewhere in the fall, the sun sets one last time, and then it doesn't come up for, I don't know, 2 months or more, but it's gotta be pretty amazing. So, like I said, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have found it as interesting as I have. And my next video will be about Canada. I am actually going towards Montana, so I will be going through the Yukon Territory. I might be crossing down to British Columbia, but then I will be in Alberta. I hope I'm saying that right. And I will go through Calgary. I hope I'm saying that right too. And then I will cross the border into Montana. So that will probably take me about 6 or 7 days. So I will see you sometime in about a week. Thank you so much for watching.